Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and to the 6th episode on this Triumph 2000. So, been making good progress, and today definitely this all needs to be welded on, without doubt. So I'm gonna crack on with what I was doing, which is getting this little piece to fit. So I'll show you. So as I mentioned yesterday, there's a few lines to try and line up here, and basically I think what my strategy is going to be is to make sure that this is good and make sure that this is good, because those are obviously two important lines that, you know, from here it looks like that's kind of uniformed, and also that it meets that line there that goes right along the sill. Obviously that puts these ones down here out a little bit, and the way I'm going to try and resolve that is basically by bending this out a little bit more. It does look like it's recessed a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell because there's quite a lot of filler on there, but I'm going to try and bend these out a little bit more to meet it. And then once I've welded this on at the top, if I need to kind of try and bend this panel a little bit, then I will do. But obviously I can make it the right shape with filler, but I would like to get the metal as close as I possibly can. So wish me luck. Okay, just to show you how this is looking, so it's taken a lot of time yesterday and today to try and get this right, but I do want to do it to the best of my ability. So basically that's lining up good at the top there. It's lining up with the arch, and it's lining up pretty good here, so that's quite good. So obviously what I've had to do is reshape the sill to get that to meet it. So hopefully something more like the shape that it would have been, assuming that this panel's correct. So basically I will need to use a little bit of filler just to, I need to use filler anyway because there's a lot on there. So for that to marry up with that, there's gonna have to be filler right along the new piece as well. But at least I know what I've put in is as close as possible to, to be in the right shape, and it's in the right place. It's not just kind of slapped on and covered in filler. So that's where I am with that. So something I'm gonna need to do, I think, is put something behind this to brace it. So what I'm thinking along the lines of doing is making a couple of holes in this. So either with the tool for making holes, or just drilling a couple of holes, and then basically just put some metal in behind here just to help secure this too, because it's going to be obviously welded along there, but I'd feel better knowing that there's something in there behind it. So that's going to involve drilling a couple of holes in this and a couple of holes in this, and then welding through onto it, welding through the holes onto it. So that's basically what I'm thinking just now. I'm going to go around and have a look at the other side just to see again what I can see. Obviously you can only see so much, which is a problem. This is, corroded as well. So it's just kind of, doing the best possible to make it as strong as possible within the parameters of this job, which is obviously just to replace this arch. So here we go. Just to give you a closer look at what I was doing in that time lapse. So basically I was just kind of making a piece for here. I did go and have a look at the other side, and I realized that there's actually more of this missing than it looked like. So what I've done is I've painstakingly made a cardboard piece that's really close to fitting that. It's not when I try and do it with one hand, but as you saw in the time lapse, I got it fitting up nice. So what I'm going to do is basically transfer this to metal, cut out a metal piece, and then I'm gonna weld it in, and I'll probably weld in a little bit behind that just to try and make it even stronger, and that'll allow this to locate onto that piece, and then I can weld on the inside. So that should be good to go, and a lot stronger than it was. So as you saw, I cut that out, and I then kind of shaped it into the right kind of shape. So it's fitting up pretty nicely, so that's good. Oh, I just moved it. A little bit more of a gap at the top. I'll not be able to get this back in position with one finger, but if I weld it in along there, I know it's sitting correct along this bit on the inside, so that's perfect. So that gives me a straight line there, straight edge to weld onto. And then I just need to maybe trim a little bit at the top once it's welded in. So that should hopefully fit up pretty good, and that'll give us something to weld this onto. So we're really getting there now, and hopefully I don't have to make any other pieces for this car. I've just realised I'll have to make a little bit from there to there, but never mind, we're nearly there. That's taken a lot of time and patience, but thankfully it's all fitting up pretty nice now, so let me show you. So as you will have seen in the time lapse, I spent time kind of fitting this up and then checking it and fitting it up again, and it took quite a while of fitting up and then just kind of sanding a little bit off or grinding a little bit off just to get it so that it's fitting nice. Obviously I don't want to take too much of it away, don't want to distort the shape of it, but obviously it needs to be enough away so that it's not holding this back from sitting correctly in there. I'm not going to be able to line it up perfectly with one hand, but basically it's sitting in pretty nice, so that's good. Not worrying too much about the outer rear arch just now. That is lined up the way it needs to be so that all fits, and in terms of the rear arch, it's lined up so that it's not going to be sticking out too far, and yeah, it's all pretty good. It's sitting at the right angle, so that's good. This is being trimmed down and fitted in here. You probably won't remember, but I had to reduce the size of that, so I haven't actually cut off the extra from when I did that. So I still need to bend that in a little bit more and trim it off. So, but I'll wait to do that once I've welded this in. I'll just trim off any excess, and then that gives me a nice line to weld. So it's taken a lot of patience, but hopefully the final result will be worth the effort. So it's fitting up a heck of a lot better than it did yesterday when I was trying it, so I'm quite pleased with that. So yeah, here we go. I'm gonna go and prime the inside of it, and then prime this as well. I'll put some seam sealer on the welds and then prime it, and then that means I can weld this piece on. And then once that's welded on, just final check that I'm happy with the fit inside here, and then I can weld this on and then just trim down any excess. I'll put some sealant in there, as I said, and then some welds just to hold that on together, and that should be it, pretty much good for filling. So that's great. Oh yeah, obviously there's a couple of little pieces to make for in here, but getting there. So we're on to Saturday now. Didn't get as many hours as I wanted on this yesterday, but did get quite a few in. So I'll show you where I am. We're really getting there now, thankfully. So have a look. So that's all seam sealed. That bit's primed, and so yeah, we're looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is weld on that bit there, or the bit over it rather, the little bit that we spent ages changing to fit. So that's all primed, it's over there, primed inside. So that's good, so I can weld that on, and then what I'll do is I'll prime this bit here. Maybe I have to have a quick look at down here just to make sure that we're going to be good for that fitting over the bottom. And then as soon as I'm happy with that, we're going to weld that on. So that will be great. Then I can get that primed. I seam sealed a bit in the boot as well. So yeah, we're looking really good. So really glad to be at this stage, and yeah, it's taking time, but hopefully the finished result will be worth all the effort. So let's get cracked on. So there we go, that's it all in. Seam sealed, primed with weld-free primer. Yeah, so that's all fitting up okay. I'm just going to need to spend a little bit of time to make sure that it's clamped up properly. I've ground off or sanded off the edge again. Same with that down there. I've primed inside that. So really just need to clamp it up and then weld it on. Well, that's going to be the end of this episode. Out of time for today, unfortunately. And I don't want to rush welding that on. I want to make sure it's done right, because I don't want to warp the panel. So yeah, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed it, and the next episode, that's getting welded on and then on to filling.